We're going live right now. Hey everybody, welcome to Forge the Narrative. This is Paul Murphy. We are the Bell of Lost Souls webcast.
Yeah.
Podcast.
It's Monday.
Things are casting. Roll a d20. We're casting stuff.
It is our Monday night live webcast. I'm actually in Houston right now. That's why the scene's a little different. I might be a little choppy, and I apologize. I'm waiting. I may have a guest that's going to join us who lives in the Houston area. Who actually we just went out to dinner. So it was good times.
Yeah.
How's everybody been doing?
Oh man. Doing real good. I'm tired as all Hades. My legs feel like Jello, but my brain feels like Justin on meth. So
I don't know if we need to talk about
all
that.
kinds
So awesome
on the web.
yes. Metaphorical meth, not actual meth.
Look, I want to tell you that right now I'm at a DoubleTree. You know what? You want to know what else is going to be at a DoubleTree? The Atlanta Warzone tournament, or Warzone Atlanta.
Warzone Atlanta. There you go. All right.
It's going to be off. Look, and I just ate. You know what you get at DoubleTrees? Chocolate chip cookies.
Free cookies.
And that is what I just ate. Free cookies. You get to have free. Yeah. You stay at the hotel, you get free cookies.
Man, so Chris.
So I'm actually.
What's up?
The registration website went live. Well, it went live a couple days ago, but it's live now, where we can actually take money for registrations.
And there are people that have signed up
for this event.
Yep. A couple people have already hit it up, man. So
people
it works.
Have registered already. It works. It's the format is going to be inclusive, and the missions are going to be very similar to what you might expect from the fun level of a Forge Narrative event.
There's already enough people for 1.5 rounds.
Yeah, dude. Like,
we can have a 3.
Yeah, as it stands now, I have a 25% chance of winning.
No. Look, it's only been live for a couple days. Actually, we only announced it. I don't even know if we didn't even really announce it. Some guy was asking. We said you can pay now, and he's like, cool. Pay now.
We'll call that an announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're very casual around here.
I don't want to put it out there for people to register until it is like we have the missions up and we have the format, because I want people to know what they can expect.
Yeah, before we ask for your dollar to come to this event, we need to make sure that this is the event for you, so we'll have the rules. I care so much about that. Justin,
I cannot tell you enough about how much I care about that. I'll be honest, I'm going to break it down. It's like my commitment to the hobby has been questioned recently. And I want to tell you that I care so much about everyone's involvement in this hobby. I mean, even like you guys too, Justin and Chris, we're building this hobby up to the minute.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Check our response rate on the Facebook. It's like you send us a message, we're right there with you. We care as much as you do about the hobby, and commitment second to none. I'm not saying that other people out there aren't as committed as we are, but it's like a tie for 5 groups.
Yeah. No one's saying we're non-committal, because we're so committal right now. We're so committed. They want to put us in an institution. That's how committed we are.
I want to say, dude, there's times like my phone will go off at night, and I'm dead asleep, dead, knocked out, snoring. Wife is mad, and my phone will go ding, and I was like, I gotta answer that. I have to. The people need this answer.
Justin is a machine. Like all of Facebook functions from the blood, sweat, and tears of Mr. Troop Smash right there.
I don't cry.
Tears of joy, man. Tears of joy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just sweat coming down from your eyes.
I have overactive cooling system, and what'll happen is it'll come from here, and it like forms right here, and then it comes down. It looks like tears, but it's not.
So that's what I'm talking about. This tournament, we didn't want to necessarily start taking registrations until we knew we were absolutely, so you would know what you were getting.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's ready now. If you just believe in what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ready.
Yeah. A lot of people already know they're coming. They don't even, they don't care what the rules are really. We could say you could bring nothing, and they're still going to come because. That's the environment that we set.
But But I care, dude. Man, like I can't tell you how much that it means to me that people are having a good time with this game that we all love and appreciate.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why it's been so cool to start to plan in this tournament. I mean, it's going to be a forged narrative style event, and what does that mean? That means it's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, there's no way if you show up to this event, there's no way you leave salty. I will stake my year's salary on it. It's just impossible.
If somebody's not having a good time, I will personally come and hang out with them until they're feeling better. Now that might be forever. I don't know.
That's FUN with FTN, man. That's what it's all about.
There it is.
Oh my! Your quick win has finally paid off. Your quick win.
There she goes. Yeah, man. No, dude.
But yeah. Anyway, I've been like, it's been like a couple of days where like I can't believe that someone would kind of question some of the things that they have, you know. And look at it. We got John Willingham just coming in here, about to bring some headphones.
Round of applause.
Anyway, we'll keep talking.
Incoming.
Kelly.
Round of applause.
Arcana Chaos, Dean, Troy, man, good to see you. William, Steve, Justin, Gabriel would not be the same without y'all. Thanks a lot for joining. John Willingham, best player in Houston.
That's the best player in the world, according to my own opinion.
Best player in the world, according to his own opinion.
Well, there's two of the best players in the world in this room right now. I'm so confused.
How did you not know that there was...
I know. You know that this room can barely contain...
If you're only counting one person's vote, he's totally right.
In the workout facility, I assumed you'd been there.
I didn't know.
Like 5 times already.
I have not. Here, let's get you plugged in. You guys talk while we get played. I'm on mute while we get
get situated.
All right, Justin, you had a question for me. What's up?
You recently were at an event that you basically ran.
I did. I ran. I jogged. I speed walked. There was movement involved. Yeah. No, Salt City Gladiator Games. It's our second year, and we almost doubled our 40K tournament attendance.
That's so awesome, man.
We only had one guy drop, and that was because he got called away, not because he was having a bad time. Like he even told me the night before.
In FTN fashion.
So much fun. Everybody had a blast, and we ended the day on the second day of the ITC style tournament, just screaming "Whoa!" at the top of our lungs. Everybody was so pumped.
That's awesome, man.
Everybody walked out of the building with a big smile on their face. It was so gratifying. A lot of work into this, and it was just awesome to see the growth and people having a good time, and some really beat-face armies show up. Like everything we've been talking about, from Gladius Strike Force to the Mechanicum Conclave, Scat Pack Eldar. Like it was all over.
Thumbs down. Just scatter lasers. Anybody still using scatter? And actually, I got a message the other day from a guy he's up north. He's in kind of the northern area. He's like, "Do you have any scatter lasers that
How north? Use? Like, is this Paul Murphy north or actual north?
This is real. This is real. This is north of Atlanta. I was
okay.
Suckers. Only suckers build scatter lasers. How to win the tournament is shuriken cannons.
What?
I'm telling you, dude. I think a balance is where it's at.
Balance,
man. Look,
I saw this weekend.
How are you gonna kill a Wraith Knight? How are you gonna kill a Wraith Knight with scatter lasers?
How are you gonna run away with that shorter range? You need the long range. You are Eldar. You inherently
let me tell you,
if you're not up in their face, you're doing it wrong.
See, this yellow, it doesn't run.
Yeah, but what?
No, that's real.
Captain of Runaway.
That's right. No
running
away.
Right now, the Scat Pack list, the one that did the best, was in 9th place.
What?
There you go.
It was the
I'm telling you, if he had shuriken cannons, he would have been at least 3rd.
He would have done really well. And not saying he didn't. I mean, he played really well. He knew his list. I mean, he was doing some shenanigans with an Inquisitor and some servo skulls because he knew he was going to see some of those white scars, rhinos scouting up in his face, and he was right. He was prepared for that. Even so, that Gladius Strike Force list is so resilient that
it is, but it doesn't kill anything. It kills your scatter laser packs. That's what it does. It kills scat packs.
No, it was. I mean, there were three different Gladius Strike Force lists, and each one took it a little bit differently, but the core concept was the same, right? So you had one, and the one that did the best was he was painted up like Emperor's Children, And this guy, he was so on top of it. He was undefeated, max points his first 4 rounds, went against the toughest opponent. One mistake cost him the game, but it was a nail-biter. It was the most intense game of 40K I ever watched. And it was full of a bunch of grav, which eats the knights alive. You know, it's killing stuff left and right. And he's using his tactical and his devastator and his assault doctrines right at the right time. If you're smart enough to execute on those moves, then you can bring down anything, especially in an ITC format where you're not fighting 5 Wraith Knights, right?
Well,
you're fighting
what list
one.
won, man?
It was Tau behind Void Shield Generators.
Hold on.
Yeah, not anything we're talking about. So. No, but fair enough. Yeah.
Tau Void Shield Generators basically avoid playing 40K as much as you possibly can.
That's fair. That's very fair.
That's exactly. I mean, I put a bounty on that Void Shield Generator, right? It was voted the douchiest thing brought to the games, and I said, all right, the first one to take
you
that
can
down.
be a spoiler if you're not planning on fighting a Void Shield Generator with 3 shields. It can be a serious spoiler.
It is. Because the whole premise of the Void Shield Generator is to eliminate as much opponent interaction as possible, right?
Exactly.
And that makes it completely unfun, but it works. It works. But the funniest thing that happened,
BC's coming in saying that you kill Wraith Knights or War Spiders. War Spiders kill lots of stuff.
Yeah.
War Spiders are awesome.
That's the truth. I do want to tell you though, the coolest move of the games was a guy who brought the Conclave of the Burning One. It was Necrons, non-Dakirin. He brought Conclave of the Burning One, and the Gaze of Death rule is not considered a shooting attack, so the Void Shield couldn't block it, and he sniped out that guy's Riptide. It was awesome.
I love it. That is how Tau should go down.
Anyways, yeah. No, it was
Tau won. I'm very angry right now.
It was really, really fun. I had a blast. I'm going to be putting up more pictures on the Facebook and everything. Everybody's amped up for next year. They asked me to help out again.
That's the mark of a successful event, dude. I mean, you ran an event where people had a good time. They brought a varying list, and they had fun. Regardless, I mean, and I'm big on missions, but regardless of missions, regardless on anything, people, if they have a good time at the event, that's all you can care about.
I'm flying out there because I can't have a Tau repeat.
Dude, I want you out here.
No.
I want you out here fighting this guy.
I can't in clear conscience.
You're both military, so that would be awesome. Just to see
a Tau guy playing military.
Yeah.
Unheard of. How did
sorry.
Your overwhelming firepower. Quote the Justin. The Justin.
Get in there and get in there.
Has anybody heard of the Super Friends out there?
Or Assault in general?
Yes and yes. There was
That's
an
what we
all
wanna know.
Thunderwolf list that came that did really well. And he basically just ran up the field with a bunch of Strength 10 Power Fists and was ripping people's throats out. And he was awesome. While Shane, he's a listener to the show. He's a good painter, a great attitude, and he did well. The one weakness that he had, and with any like Thunderwolf list like that, where you've got nothing but wolves, dudes on wolves, and holding wolves in each hand, and there's wolves everywhere.
Yeah,
no anti-air.
Yeah.
It was the air support that people had at this event that really hurt his list. So I think I'm gonna talk to him, and we're gonna do some more list crafting. You put some stalkers in there. Yeah,
we got a question before the show. We get questions all the time on Facebook and our personal Facebook pages or whatever. Please hit us up on wherever you feel like best to talk to us.
Any and all.
Question before the show asking about how we design missions, about how you figure out where what is placed what, like how many inches away from this is XYZ placed, and basically asking the theory behind it. And I take a lot of this for granted. Playing the game for 20 years or whatever. Now, John's not even 20 years old. He couldn't drink beer today. I'm kidding.
I did it anyway.
But playing this game for so long, you get an idea of like how far things move and what that means and that kind of stuff. So I kind of want to talk about that a little bit right now. Is like how you decide what's good and what's not.
Well, I could sum it up real quick, man. You get a box of stuff and you dump it. I'm joking. I'm really joking.
No, well, I'm glad that you brought up mission design, Paul, because if there was one thing that was continually brought up to me as I was running this event, is that people wanted different kinds of missions than what was on the ITC format. And not saying that they do a bad job with that, but people are looking for something a little bit more dynamic.
Yeah, you got to make something that sounds fun to play.
That's the biggest thing. One thing for your gaming group, don't pick one mission thought process.
Yeah.
Like pick a series of them and create a notebook. Create a who cares how thick it is.
Yeah.
Like and that's what you play.
Dude,
so if
go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead, Justin.
I
got
a bigger point.
You pick and choose. Yeah. Oh no, so you pick and choose. Like, hey, we want to pick one that's more defensive, more chess matchy or whatever. Then you pick one of those missions that scratches your itch, because they're going to be people that build lists that are more in line with those type of missions.
I mean, but ultimately, I ran the first ever Houston GT actually a couple months ago, and we did very successful with it. We had a lot of fun. But
I want you to talk about that in a minute.
Absolutely. But one of the things that is that you have to find a mission that's fun.
Yeah.
That's sometimes you have to say maybe this mission is fun for me, and hopefully it's fun for everyone else out there. Because ultimately we're trying to make an experience that people enjoy and have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Like the kill point mission, like in the FTN packet, the second mission is a kill point mission. Mm-hmm. It's all kill points, and that is fun for people that don't their army might not be good at the chess matchy type stuff, but they know what I can get in there and kill you.
Sometimes you got to punch someone in the face.
Yeah, you just it's fun to rack up points. It's like point.
I love it.
Oh my god!
But so let's take a minute. Tell us about the Houston Grand Tournament.
Well, we had a Houston Grand Tournament a couple months ago. It was an ITC event. We got really lucky. We got approached by Comicpalooza here in Houston, Texas.
Comicpalooza.
Mm-hmm. And they basically said, the guy who ran it basically said, hey, I'm a 40K player. I want a goddamn 40K thing in this event. I'm sorry if I shouldn't.
We don't say that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we don't say that.
Excuse me. I want a 40K
Gosh darn it,
event.
we don't say that.
I'm bad. But
no, go ahead.
He said he wanted a 40K event at Comicpalooza, so he literally gave us carte blanche, anything we wanted.
You had space.
We had space, tables, chairs, and no money. Didn't cost us a single dime.
$0.
$0.
Yeah, hey, that's whatever.
So we threw our first annual Houston GT. And we had to basically charge people ticket price to get into the event.
Just for the convention.
Just the
whatever the convention was.
And we privately collected prize support.
By privately surprise support, this dude went around winning tournaments for 3 months.
Yeah, I basically.
And what he did was every winning that he got, he dumped in the prize support for their event.
And we had over $1,000 or $2,000 worth of prize support.
Respect.
I know, right? How awesome is that?
You're about to say something.
I basically beat up people and let them get their prize support back and their money back.
Now, I mean, there's a bunch of stores in Houston that run tournaments. You can get a tournament almost every weekend.
Every single weekend in Houston, we are a very organized community. There is every single weekend there is a pre-scheduled event. One store has weekend one store has weekend two, and then, for example, like this month where we have a fifth weekend, there is a Bits Bazaar. Every time there's a fifth weekend, a fifth Saturday, there's a Bits Bazaar.
I'm a fiend for Bits Bazaar. Let me tell you, man. It's like I love that's the fantasy, man.
I love getting stuff I'll never use.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna need that one hand with that one weapon.
That one scatter.
Yeah. Right. No. So, but I'm the same way, man. I love putting that kind of stuff together.
That's pretty bad.
So anyway, the question we got, and I know I'll be digress, but like, how do you design missions? And I think you have to approach it from how you, even if your goal is fun, like real fun, is that you do it with math.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so you math out like, okay, I think people can be on turn 1. Is that what I want? Where do I think people can be on turn 2? Is that what I want? So you just basically like organize it in your head on math in the turn phase, in the sequence of what you want things to do, and that can determine. What that really does is determine, like, do you want progressive objectives? Where do those progressive objectives? When do you want people scoring those progressives? Do you want end of game objectives? Where do you think people are going to be by the end of the game, and where do you want your action to take place? Because when you put fixed objectives, you're basically determining where the action is going to happen.
Yeah, those are going to be key points
in the
battlefield.
Progressive objectives, you mean like making people play the game?
Well, I do because I don't like the end up turning. Okay, I shouldn't say I don't like it. I love it. I really do. But I think that with the way armies are designed right now, is that you can get a more fun game sometimes out of making some of those armies interact. And but also I'm a big can't just like spring this kind of thing on them. If you're going to have something other than book missions, you need to publish it well ahead of time. And this goes back to where I've been hesitant to say, go ahead and get your ticket for Warzone Atlanta at warzoneatlanta.com. I'm just saying, it's because I want the missions out there before people determine whether or not they're going to purchase a ticket. And I want to, and the missions are going to be fun. It's going to be great. It's going to be in line with what you might expect from one of our events. But that how you design it is math.
The thing about it, man, so, like you were saying, you pick a topic, make that fun, all right? Now, all the other stuff, you also have to remember, like, less is more sometimes. You can't clutter a mission with too many things because then you're unbalancing it. When you put too much math into a thing, we're human, right? We're going to screw it up. So make sure that...
you can't have a bunch of if-thens. You got to have a somewhat linear path towards whatever your fun objective is.
This always has to lead to this, to always has to lead to this, to always has to lead to that. Now, there's going to be different ways that you can approach to getting there, but it always has to lead to that. And that's the kind of
flow. The mission, but variety.
Yeah, I think you're right. And at the HEC, for example, is like we had there were two missions that were very singular focused. And then there was a third mission. It was a mix, but you kind of knew, and you knew that, and you played them twice, so you could plan for them effectively. But yes, some kind of consistency or a theme within the mission, so people aren't trying to. I guess for a great mission, there's good mission and great mission design. I think great mission design, people just get it. They can look at it and go, okay, that's what I need to do. I need to play this game, and then you get interaction between two armies.
Dude,
but we also have depth.
Okay. Fair enough, depth. Kelly K, he's asking where can he play this event? This is going to be in the Atlanta Grand Tournament. It is warzoneatlanta.com.
I'll drive you if you need to.
Hey, he asked. I'm only answering the question. But that was one of the questions we got before. It's worth spending some minutes on. We might even spend some minutes on the podcast. It's like, how do you really design this? And when you design, first you think about what's fun to do, and it's fun to do what's fun for you. If you're tuned into the pulse of your community, forget what's published out there. Just do what your people like.
Yeah.
But I think how you design a great mission is doing that. Just what I said is like planning out what you want to accomplish and then figuring out how people do that over the course of the game.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing that I like.
Tangent? Was that too bad?
I mean, it's all right. You're coming in a little Autobot-ish, but we'll make do.
Oh, I'm on internet. I'm on hotel.
Boy, Megatron.
I was going to cut you off, but I was like, he's on a rant. I'm going to let him go. No, there's always things about missions, man. Missions is what makes people come to your event in a way, right? You got to think about when I sit down, I'm playing your missions for the majority of the time I'm at your event. A 3-rounder, I'm there for almost 9 hours, right? So those missions need to keep me entertained for those 7 to 9 hours that I'm there by telling a story. Have your mission tell a story. When you design a mission, watch a war film. What did they do? Think about that. I've been in war, so I don't need to.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like forging the narrative.
Yeah.
Oh.
We use that ironically. We don't actually forge.
What did he say?
I'll take it. I have a man crush.
I know.
Man crush Monday.
We forge the narrative.
Woo!
Very ironically.
There are narratives. There's forging. Stuff happens.
Dude, I'll reference a movie right quick. Mel Gibson. We Were Soldiers. The book is called something else. The book is called something else. We Were Soldiers, though.
All right.
That was Lieutenant or whatever.
Megatron.
Try
again.
I'm not talking. You'll talk. I'm not talking like a bastard.
All right. So use that film as a concept of a mission. And when you do, whoever's out there and you listen to this and you write this mission, send it to me because I want to read it. You have this circular area that you're stuck in, center of the board. There's things going on around that circular area, other objectives. You can King of the Hill that. You can make progressive objectives. You can have all kinds of different things going on. Watch that movie. See what was going on in that movie. Develop that plot of that movie into a mission. I promise you it's going to be fun.
And do the math to make sure that both players can have fun.
Yep.
Make the objectives make sense, right?
Yeah. You know, think about that. Dawn of War. I've already got it in my head. Dawn of War. That has to be a Dawn of War deployment. I want to be in the center of that board turn 1. Because that's where they were. They were dropped in. So both players, right there. There's your interaction. There's your focal point. There has to be other things going on because a game that just happens right there in the center is boring. You need to have other things happening.
Age of Sigmar is offended by that.
Yeah, what is that? That to me.
The 30K missions are very narrative.
Yeah.
They're very similar to that kind of stuff. Like there are deployment maps where in 30K that are exactly what you just described.
Yeah. Well, I don't read, so I just came up with that on the cuff.
It almost sounds like he's actually describing some of the missions from the Forge World books too.
That's exactly right.
That's forging a narrative right there.
What is a book?
All that. Alan Bly's a genius.
I don't know what these book things are. What are you talking about?
Granted, they're never.
All you need to know is that Alan Bly is a creative genius.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
basically all you need to know is Alan Bly is awesome. Alan Bly, please come on the show, please.
I've tried. I'll keep trying.
We're gonna get him.
He will.
It will happen.
He will succumb.
I want to. Gabriel over here. He's asking about the Emperor's Children paint scheme on the army that I was talking about earlier. It is Thomas, and poor guy. He had a cold, so he was sounding like this, and I was teasing him that he was doing the best Reese impression out of everybody there. But man, poor guy. He just stuck it out, and he played real tactical the whole time. And despite the fact that he could barely talk, and when he did it hurt, he still showed up on both days and brought his best. So impressed by his play.
That's cool, man. Well, hey, we got a guest, so it would be rude of us to not entertain our guest here. So, hey, man, what armies are you playing right now that you're going out there and you're winning all this sweet loot, man?
Well, right now I'm doing Space Marines and a little bit of Tau. And I'm parlaying all that winning into a the Depths Mechanicus War Convocation.
Okay.
Whatever that's called.
Yeah. Saw one of those this weekend. Yeah, it's a good. That thing works.
I still stand by my thing, man. I swear, in 6 months, that thing's gonna be null and void.
No, it could very well be null and void depending on what event you're working at. But the thing about that list is that it's fun. There's so much variety in there.
Yeah.
There's so many different units in there, and each one's kind of different and fun, and you can't spam it. You just can't spam like you see out there. Yeah. And so that fosters more of a fun list.
Dude, to me, that's the true all-comers list. Like, that is the epitome of it. It's got everything. You got assault, counter-assault, anti-air. You got big shooting. You got little shooting. You got everything. I love that. I love it. I'm collecting
things.
Yeah, you can stomp. you name it, that list has it. I love it. And I will be playing it. And even when it's bad, I'll be playing it.
The War Convocation it's fun. I mean, you can't sleep on it. It's if you're a bad player, you're going to do bad with the War Convocation.
Yeah.
You get the free war gear, but you still got to know when to do what you need to do with it.
Yeah, you got to pop the right rituals.
It's very much a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
I promised John that at least 20 people would see it, and look, we're there. We're over 20.
21 people.
Right now.
All right, yeah. No, I mean, I will tell you one thing about that list, though. One thing that I noticed is that you really have to know all of that. You have to know it, or it can really slow down your game.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't. I mean, it wasn't a slow play situation or anything, but the guy that brought that this weekend, it just took him a while to get everything going because there's just so much to absorb that's new out of all of those Mechanicum books. I'm not complaining about that. It's something you got to be prepared for.
Well, you have so many pieces of war year, and so you have really an option for
and mechanicals, and like.
So you have so many different options, or for any situation, so you really can't adapt your army, or you have that answer for that situation, and kind of thinking about it, like I think I know about that. It's something that you need the reps in order to play the game.
Yeah, what you mean? You need to have test games logged so you know what to do when to do it, and even the free war gear. You're like I had this conversation with a convocation player. Like his name's Thomas Bird. He's been on the show. He's an awesome player. He's what I consider a spoiler. This dude is good enough to beat anybody in the whole country. And if you play slip against this dude, he's going to beat you, and your tournament dreams are going to be dashed.
Yeah,
that's basically it.
He's brilliant.
But the dude's. Yeah, he took arc rifles. I'm like, why not go for the plasma, man? It's the actual. He's like, no, you need that haywire or whatever because this is what you're going to encounter, and he knows that because he's played 30 games with it or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this guy, he was plenty organized. He had all the cards laid out. He had everything set up right. I think maybe if he'd gotten a few more games in with that beforehand, he probably would have been able to move through it pretty quickly.
Dude, I've played like 10 to 15. With soda pop cans and all that good stuff because I don't have all the models yet. Dude, it's hard, and I'm a pretty good player, and I'm sitting here still struggling.
All of that already.
I struggled a little bit because it was like I know that I need to be counter.
I can't wait till he sells it because I need one Dune Strike.
I know. We're always waiting for Justin to be like, "Oh, dude, I bought this. This was so cool," and then 3 weeks later, I'm gonna sell that.
Chris saw my room before we went live. I sell that. I might be a hoarder. Don't let this 4 square feet right here fool you.
Yeah,
I can't even move my computer without knocking stuff over. You guys, it looks real nice, right? You can only see so much.
But it's not the no-brainer list. It takes some expertise and some finesse to pull it off.
Jeff in Control Robinson, he's playing it right now. He's got a lot of videos out there you guys can check out and stuff. If you need a good resource to watch, if you're going to mimic anybody playing it, mimic him. He's doing great with it.
Yeah, the man's a machine.
It's fun. I mean, it is fun because you get so many different, like what John was saying. You get so many different units, it just looks interesting on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun.
And they're forced to be different. Every unit is forced to be different.
That's very true. Yeah. But you can bring it all together. Like if you're a themey guy or whatever, you bring it all together with the mechanicals, and then the various things the formations get. Troy's asking about Night Lords. We are going to spend a little bit of time on the podcast the next couple of weeks building lists about the things that we talked about so far, but we're going to get to every chapter.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, Legion. Chris corrects me when I say chapter.
I'm trying to be nice to him because he's had a bad day.
You're saying 30K. So
it's Legion. It's Legion.
There you
go.
Justin says Legion all the time, and I'm like, they're not growing on nobody's skin.
Whatever, man. All right, like I don't enunciate. I have a high GPA. My brain works. My mouth don't.
So I know we plugged the tournament enough. We talked about missions, and Lamont has a good question about missions. Like, so how do you handle players that may not be necessarily tournament savvy? And I believe you've got to keep the concept simple. And I don't mean simple in a bad way, because even the hardcore tournament player don't want to be having to look at the page every round to figure out they're still on track. I think they want to have something where you can lock it into your brain and then do it.
Yeah, that irritates me
because I know
throughout the whole.
And then check back in round 4 for details.
Oh yeah. You look at it, but round 4, but you want to be able to play. Like, even though it's a 2.5 hour, 3 hour round or whatever, you don't want to be looking every 5 minutes at the mission.
Because 2.5 hours might seem long when you start, but it goes like that.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to win a tournament. There's somebody actively competing against you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like.
And sometimes that's why in later rounds of a big tournament, where you're playing more experienced players, the games are quicker and tighter.
Yeah, it feels
because
quicker.
That's where you're playing someone who knows what they're doing. They've been there. They're a tournament savvy player. So it's quicker.
Yep. Oh, but with that said, though, don't be afraid to look at that mission every round. Like, pick up that piece of paper, and if you're playing, and this is a huge pet peeve of mine, I'm gonna go off on a little bit of a tangent. Get out one copy of the mission. Yeah, you see that? Like, do not be ashamed of grabbing or not grabbing, but asking for the copy from your opponent. Like, I need to see that, please. Can I see that, please? Hey, man, can you pass that to me?
What are you playing in a barn here? Where you have one copy of the mission?
Look, I'm just saying, I played
your local event.
I played it even some national events. Where they're back. I mean, this is back in the day, back in the 40s, whatever. But
that's when they had to use typewriters to type all the missions out.
That's why there was
Army Builder wasn't a program.
Yeah, such a commodity. But don't be afraid to say, can I please see that mission copy? Because, like, I've seen, now not intentionally, there's all different levels or whatever, but, like, people are just they just have anxiety about asking for the copy.
You never want to lose a mission, especially in a tournament, because you had a misunderstanding of the mission.
Yeah, if some guy says, aha, in
surprise!
Yeah. Surprise! You didn't know, or whatever, like, because you've been sitting on it for 3 rounds, man. Of course I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like,
not cool. Not cool.
That will affect your sportsmanship.
And I applied intent to that, and I apologize. Maybe the dude didn't know one way or the other. He just felt like he had a but if you're playing, always, if you're anywhere unsure at all, don't be ashamed or anywhere too cautious to look at the mission every single day.
Yeah, and there's phases in the game where you're not going to be interacting. You can watch, like, while your opponent's in his movement phase, you can watch what he's doing. You're not interacting. You just, where is he going? What am I about to roll saves for? So look at the mission while he's doing that. Make sure he's not sneaking up on you, of course, but okay, and bam, it doesn't take but 30, 45 seconds to look at it again to keep your mind on track.
I'm not trying to imply intent on anybody's character out there, absolutely at all, but just for your own personal benefit, if the mission is slightly complex, refer to it as often as you think you need to.
Yeah, I do.
I can agree with that. I think simple missions are really a key to not only the tournament players' experience, but also the tournament organizers' experience, because the less time you have to spend explaining the way a mission works before the round starts, the more time you can make sure the players have to actually execute.
Dude, I look at them, like, even the FTN mission pack, our very own mission pack, I look at them extensively while I'm playing.
Yeah,
I do.
Some of the original missions, I'm like, I need to see that one more time.
Yeah, I've played them 1,500 times. You know what I mean? Like, every one of them, I've played at least 1,000 times. That's a slight exaggeration.
All that stuff's crafted off of feedback from all over the world. Like, we get people that send, like, that packet now is the product of literally worldwide play. And people giving us their opinions of how they think it should be phrased, so it appeals to the greatest amount of people still trying to have fun with the game.
So it's not your child anymore. It's really a child to so many people. So you can't know it because so many people have had input into it.
That's pretty much true. There's some nuances that are very much the product of the world,
which is good. Which only makes it strong.
And it was built for everybody. It was built for the world. I don't think during its inception, I don't think the scale of what it grew into was seen.
So wave servers wouldn't win every tournament. That was really what it was.
Well, that was something the community needed. That was something the community needed right then. Am I wrong?
Yeah, but they've held the test of transition to 7th.
Yeah,
and it's nice to hear people playing them still.
Yeah.
Well, to kind of circle back to Lamont's question, when he's talking about people who might not be, strong in the terms of the game core rules and the terminology. I'm going to stand on a little bit of a soapbox here and just say real fast, not coming down on anybody, but you have to go to a tournament knowing at least the core concepts of the main rulebook and the concepts of your army.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a matter of respect for your opponent, respect for the organizer. I'm not going to go into details or anything, but there were some situations where I had to more actively manage one player over all the rest of them.
If you're showing up with that weak broad knowledge, let the tournament organizer know ahead of time. Hey, bro, first tournament, like 6th game, first tournament, don't know what I'm doing. Let him at least prepare himself and the other TOs that might be helping out, because they know that.
Heck, I mean, let me go the counterpoint to that, Justin. Is that even if you're the guy who's the a weak tournament player, this is your first or second tournament, and you let the tournament organizers know, maybe he hangs out around your table and prevents other people from running over you with things that you just might not be aware of. Mm-hmm. So there's a benefit to declaring that.
Yeah, well, I think
that's where you got to go. You got to do local events. I mean, the more local events you as a player do, it gives you your crash course for your big events. I mean, yeah, you want to go to those big events, but you're setting yourself up for failure.
Find a buddy, find a tournament, find a guy that's like, hey man, I'd like to play a few games against you. Teach me the tournament tricks. And I've had several people in Atlanta that do that.
Yeah.
They're like, hey man, can I come over and play? And then just like be as dirty as you possibly can. And let me tell you what I did. I don't play this way. But what I did was a pivot trick with a Land Raider. I'm like, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pivot this Land Raider or whatever.
I'm gonna get 3 extra inches.
I'm gonna line up on the edge, and then I'm gonna pivot, and then I'm gonna move 12 inches, and then I'm gonna be in your face. That was one of the dirty tricks that I pulled on it.
Well, and here's
but playing against a tournament player, go ahead, Chris.
To bring those 2 points together, though, a lot of it has to do with the way that you ask and the way that you go about getting that help. Because there was another player that was also very new that I didn't have to babysit at all because the way that they went about it. And when there was a question or something, I could go over there and help. But it was get me before the problem, not get me during or after the problem.
Yeah.
There's something to be said, and that's not to come down on people that don't come to tournaments. And I want people to come and come back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there has to be an expectation set for the way that you behave at a tournament and the way that you go about resolving some of those conflicts. That inevitably they're going to come.
Yeah, right there, man. The way that you behave, dude. That's perfect.
Justin's got a question about events in Houston.
No, I don't.
No, the other
JP. It's
Justin,
JP, right?
Yeah.
Zofrado.
That's right. So where can he find information on the Houston events?
Oh, well, that's actually really simple. We're super organized that we have the Houston Area 40K page, our Facebook page. We have about 500 or 600.
What's the name of it?
It's literally Houston 40K on Facebook.
I've never heard of Houston. No.
But yeah, Houston Area 40K, Justin. And if you go there and get on our Facebook group, there's literally about 500 or 600 players in there. Yeah. And every single one of our events is posted in that page in Facebook.
That's a lively page.
You can always pick
up for all the stores.
For all the stores.
Okay.
There's always an announcement when and where and what's going on at any given time.
And Justin, they're very competitive around here. Mm-hmm. I mean, very competitive. And good people.
Justin has no experience over in Texas at all, right? Right, Troop Smash.
Me, Justin?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I used to be a part of that Facebook group.
You are?
Yeah, I was a part of that Facebook group until I moved.
Well, you were from El Paso, you were living in El Paso for a while, right?
Yeah, I traveled a lot, and I didn't get to Houston as much as I liked, but definitely Dallas and San Antonio a lot.
Oh yeah.
Houston just things I didn't like.
Yeah,
it's different now. Let me tell you, I've hung out with probably 10%, 30%, somewhere between of the tournament base.
Yeah.
I mean, good people, man.
I missed it. I really do.
It's a thriving 40K community.
We'll beat your face, but we're cool.
The first time when I built the Super Friends, he's the first guy I played.
And what happened?
Really?
Oh, I murdered your face.
You lost that game.
No, I did not.
You got me the second one. You beat me the second
quit.
Game.
Oh, okay. You quit turn 3?
Oh, hold on.
Because you had no figures left.
No. I got you the first game. You got me the second game. It was a 50-50 split that weekend.
I don't know. I don't think that's not how it went.
Adult.
All right, we need to settle this. Rock, paper, scissors right now. Just do it. Get it over with.
Wait, it's 1, 2, 3, shoot.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
All right.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Oh crap! Best 2 out of 3?
No.
All right, Paul. Your credibility is now starting to shrink a little bit.
There you go.
Oh, good.
Look, I accept the terms, and then I accept my statement.
And Paul's out.
If only TOing could be that easy.
But yeah, the first time Super Friends we played ever were against his Tau, And that was basically the proof. I'm like, hey man, because I built the list on the plane to Houston. I'm like, hey man, I've been thinking about this list, and then we went over and proxied at his place.
It was a proxy fest, and the reason I squeaked it out was he's like, hey, way to make a mistake with this list. You've just played the first time. I'm gonna capitalize. And he got me the second time.
But anyway, that was the proof concept with the Super Friends, and never looking back. It's fun. It's like it went from everyone in the whole 40K community was like Space Marines suck to like, wait a second, we've now kind of countered this
Hold
list.
up.
That's right.
Reverse.
If you thought Space Marines sucked, you just didn't know how to read, like me.
Yeah.
Now, getting over here to Archaon Chaos's point, he says having newbies at a tournament should be expected, kind of bringing it back in there. He's like, no, you're absolutely right. There's nothing wrong with having newbies at a tournament. Absolutely nothing.
You want them.
I want them to come there.
Absolutely.
I want them to have a good time.
The hobby.
Yep.
I mean, we're never going to grow the hobby if we keep shunning the new people out. And if
I don't like to call them newbies. Let's reterm them. Young players.
Neophytes. Let's call them
Gretchen.
neophytes.
Neophytes, Gretchen.
All right. We get some neophytes in here. We get some new blood. We want that.
Might as well call them babies.
We don't want to come down on people and brag on them.
That's not how we get them to stay.
A grand tournament that I went to allowed you to bet points. Like you could bet you had 5 ships, and each ship was worth 2 points, and you could wager them against an opponent throughout the course of the weekend. The first guy I played said, "This is my 3rd game of 40K ever." So I was like, I'm all in.
You know, one of the things we actually did in Houston is when we get very big events, when we get 25 plus people, and that we will actually split up in our local stores a tier 1, tier 2, or not. We don't even call it tier 1, tier 2. We call it like hobby and tournament.
Dude, that's strong. In Atlanta, we got the same thing. We have tiered events where you go and sign up to be part of tier 1 or tier 2.
Well, we don't sign them up because our tournament players will try and sneak down every now and then.
We play like we put a force distribution. Like nope.
Sorry. Oh yeah, we pound them in there. But it's funny because those tier 1 or those hobby players, they desperately want to move up. They want to get into that higher event.
You create a little bit of a little bit of exclusivity, and it makes people want to do it.
Yeah, and it really does. They grows their skill and makes them want to jump up in that next level.
I agree.
So it's cool.
Completely agree.
Not being like not being elitist or anything like that.
Okay, we've got an actual 40K question that I'm sorry. And Chris, you might be the one that can answer this. What is your preferred loadout for a Chaos Raptor?
Are we talking the Fire Raptor?
I have to assume Fire Raptor. Fire Raptor.
There was a new term for that coin this weekend called the Friendship Raptor. And as much as the Imperial one does, the Chaos one, you can get there's some upgrades on there that make all that stuff rending. Like anytime you can get that many dice to rend is a good day for you. Do that.
The K cannons on the Contemptors.
Does that take like a legacy or whatever, one of the corruptions or something? Is that what it?
Well, I can tell you, I don't have the Imperial Armor 13.
I don't have it on me, and I apologize.
I believe it's like a 30-point upgrade legacy, or something like that for Chaos, but I think it's in like the 30-point plus range.
Is that 913 or
I couldn't tell you off the top.
It's in one of those.
It can be a bit pricey, but it's worth it.
Okay.
I think it's 13 because Vrax doesn't have a lot of those, the gunships and that kind of stuff. But I can tell you, from experience, using the Friendship Raptor as an agent of the Imperium and ruining everyone's life.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure every Tyranid player that I've played at a tournament or casually that I've brought the Friendship Raptor has not spoken to me for a month after.
Oh.
Because all those Flyrants make those people the best friends.
Well, I put the War of Murder. Okay, I put the War of Murder on that one on purpose because it gives all those weapons Monster Hunter.
I would like it to be known that Chris only rolls 5s and 6s with his Fire Raptor. I've never seen anybody else's Fire Raptor do what.
This game isn't hard. Roll your dice better.
The 30K game I played last, whatever, is had a Fire Raptor roll in on one Justarian Terminator. He just sat there and took it all. Like, what? What do you do?
you get armor 14 and a 2+ save in there, and you're done.
Armor. Did I tell you that Terminator armor is awesome?
Yeah.
It makes it relevant again.
Sorry,
40K.
Chris.
No, you're right though. You're right. Anything that with a 2+ armor save, unless you're shooting your missiles at it, which are AP2.
Yeah.
But I mean, one of my favorite tricks to pull is just to do a pot shot off with the Fire Raptor at like a Wraith Knight or something, and hit it, wound it, get that concussive off, and then charge it with something that's really going to hurt it. Like there's some utility you can do there, but it is more for MSU and Horde armies. Yeah. It's not going to beat your Death Stars. I mean,
it's a clunky unit to use too because it's got a very big footprint, and if you're trying to maximize some of the avenues and lanes, you have to be on your game with flyers.
Better than a Storm Raven. I'll tell you, it's done a million times better than any Storm Raven I've ever bought.
That's the undersung thing about flyers that people, I think, miss, is their base size and stuff use their maneuverability and their speed to counter movement. People need to start doing that more. They really do.
And you can do some nasty things with transports.
Say that one more time, Paul.
It's tough against flyers because you can move through that base as long as you go over it. So you think about what's the toughest.
Are you sure about that? You sure it's not a 6th edition rule?
No,
you can still do that.
As long as you don't end in it. That's the thing.
Okay. Oh yeah, fair. Okay, end it. Yeah.
But so your things like your Space Marine bikes, your Wolf Cab, the hardest hitting units can sometimes get around that. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But
fair enough.
One of the nastiest things, I had a Ringer army that I brought that had the Friendship Raptor a game in with it.
That is not a Ringer unit.
And
they explain to you what a Ringer does.
This tournament is.
It was my ITC list, and you guys know that you guys have seen that list before. All right, not a lot of units. It sucks versus MSU. I won't go into the details on it, but what happened was my opponent had a Storm Eagle.
Blood Angels.
8 Friendship
Raptors. 8 Friendship Raptors.
He had a Storm Eagle, right? He had a Storm Eagle with the command squad in it. The Sakaran battle tank at it. Don't hate me for saying that. I shot the Sakaran battle tank at it. I stunned it. He had to move. He ended on top of one of my units and removed from play. It was like 700 points.
Oh.
I just about cried for him.
That's a dagger to the heart.
That's why people not come back to our events.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But that's their own doing. It's like, oh man, like what do you
not to play with your toys that you love?
That's right. You don't.
I blame his opponent for leaving.
Yeah.
It was the one guy that left.
Hey, here's my Ringer list. I got Sicarans everywhere and Fire Raptors, and I get.
You know what? If I have to do that to make my Blood Angels competitive, I'm gonna do it, and I'm not gonna.
That's right. You just have to close hatch and mishap people out. You're playing jerk 40K.
It was an accident.
Good time.
But I mentioned the 30K game, and I actually talked to John a bit about 30K tonight, where we're at dinner, and said the game it's fun. It's very fun. You get to play with all these cool Forge World toys that we talk about, and in an overall balanced game. Like, let me tell you how cool it was. Like that Fire Raptor went and like murdered in that game we're talking about. He did. That one Terminator absorbed like all of his Fire Raptor shots, and then that Fire Raptor scooted around and killed a bunch of other stuff, whatever. So using it, but 30K is a very balanced game. It's not like 40K where you can get. It's not quite as rock paper scissors. Most things are rock/scissors.
Yeah.
And we've had in the Houston area, we've had kind of this big fight back and forth within our groups over can you bring 30K in the 40K events? And our 40K tournament players, and I was one of them, I'll fully admit it, even in my tournaments that I ran, like, nope, no 30K. Do you want to play fantasy in your 30K, in our 40K events? We can't allow. And there was a kind of big back and forth, and then we finally kind of snuck in with a few events with some of our more hobbier players allowing it in. And they came in, and they got some cool little tricks and toys, and they'll have one unit go off and kill a thing or two, but then they've ultimately never raffle stomped everybody.
No, they're not going to. They're probably not going to.
They're probably not going to. Maybe if a good player on a bad player.
But John, I'm glad you brought that up.
Oh.
In Warzone Atlanta, we're going to allow 30K armies.
But it's not that bad. We've not had horrible experience with it. We've had good positive experience. People like it. Other than like that Void Step guy with a double plasma guns that goes.
Oh, they FAQ'd that. to where the Mortat, that's what it is, or I may be pronouncing it wrong or whatever, but that dude can't. He overheats on a 1-2.
Okay, that guy's
not just a he was on. They come out of his drop pod, he's like zap 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 or whatever. He can't do that anymore.
Away.
Yeah, he can't do that anymore.
No, I'm saying like we've had good positive experience, and we're Houston's kind of switched to pretty much we're allowing. I know when I run events, I don't care.
Atlanta's doing it. Houston's doing it. What city's going to be next? Allow 30K in your 40K game.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
And then just play 30K.
And people, if people are like, 30K's got things that do stuff really well. Yeah, it's also built for 2,500 points, dude.
So what? It has stuff. I mean, has anyone ever seen?
They can maybe do one thing, one time, one turn. Yeah. Then you kill it with your stuff, and then you play, and then you.
They got 12 models on the table at 18.
All right. All I'm gonna say is Paul's army from ATC dropped the mic. Things that can do stuff.
Isn't that crappy?
It's good. Yeah. SEAL Council is real.
I'm not all in.
Yeah.
It's good.
Let's just play 1 or 2 games, and you will be questioning all your faith and morals.
How
can I get the SEAL Council in my Salamanders army?
Yeah. I don't play Salamanders for anybody that read into that.
I know. I'm just saying that's.
It's a good list. It has a few drawbacks in some missions. It is not an end-all be-all, but it is certainly a good list.
What missions does it have a drawback in?
Give me 6 objectives, and I'll give my Gladius a Gladius army.
Yeah.
That's
in progressive.
I do believe we have a challenge.
It struggles.
Yeah, exactly. It's not an end-all be-all. It's a good fun list that can do some really beat people up.
But that's what we're talking. You have to have good mission design, so these lists don't run over people.
Correct. So one list should, obviously you shouldn't win every single thing automatically. You should have to struggle and win a game of 40K
and play the game
without just your army auto winning.
Completely.
We're sitting behind a voice generator.
Yeah, I personally just don't like lists that depend on randomness. Take the randomness out of the list. That's why I don't play psychic armies.
I thought that you loved the Warp Storm table. I thought that was your favorite thing ever.
That's fun. If you win a game on the Warp Storm table, you don't deserve to be in a winning bracket.
Dude, I don't know how many people. If you play Fate Weaver, you're planning to win on the Warp Storm table.
Well, okay, Fate Weaver.
guys have never actually talked to me.
That's right.
He basically tells the Warp Storm table what to do for him.
Yeah, I need 11s right now. I need 3s right now.
Fate Weaver's a little different.
Bad.
I don't like to play Fate Weaver. I have a soul.
Justin's asking if we should wager chips at the Warzone event. No, I could be down.
All in.
Yeah. How many? I can get 2 beers from this. I push.
No, it's the heart of the competitiveness needs to be there, and it needs to be considered a competitive GT because that is what it is. It's gonna be fun as hell. But it is still, at the heart of it, a very competitive GT.
Oh, yeah. If somebody who wins the Warzone is going to come through the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And we're going to make we're going to make it as important as we can to people. We're going to let people score ITC points. Yep. And it's more than likely going to be an e-qualifier. Yep. Heck, if you win this, I'll ask you to be on the ATC team that I run. I don't whatever you need to feel like you get what you need out of this event. I'm going to make sure we have it for you.
That's actually a pretty good ticket, man. Win this.
I mean,
you got to bid.
ATC part. Yeah. Sometimes teams get a little bit higher than yours.
Look, I'll play you right now. I'll shut you up right now. Playing with
There's 2 minutes, Paul.
We got 2 minutes. Whatever you're gonna do in that hotel room can wait for 2 minutes. All right.
You know what happened? I think it's
in Denver.
In Denver. That was not at a tournament.
Tournament.
That was when I didn't have Super Friends done in time. That's because.
Do we need to rock paper scissors this again? Because we know how that went last time.
I know that. No, I can't. Man, I don't know.
Don't do it, Paul. Don't do it.
Well,
this is your conscious speaking.
Thank you all very much for joining us in the chat. I know we kind of went off, but there were some great questions, very in-depth questions about events. Yeah, and I'm really glad we got to touch on it tonight.
I'm glad we had Megatron and Optimus Prime to join us as well.
I'm so sorry.
Don't watch this on YouTube.
No, we love you for it. We love you for it.
Don't watch us on YouTube.
Say what I just meant. Say what I meant. We gotta go.
Yeah, good. It was a good show, though. Thanks to everybody that showed up. John, thanks for showing up. You know, it's always good having guests on. So,
thank you guys. I do appreciate it.
Guys, y'all have a good rest of y'all's night. Thank everybody for the chat. Thank you all for joining us.
All right. See you guys.
Good night, everybody.